Hi, good morning. In this session, we are going to discuss about continuous type random variables. That is, random variables are functions defined from the sample space to the real number system, and usually we denote it by capital letter X or capital letter Y and so on. If the function X is a function, and if the function is a continuous function, then it's known as a continuous random variable. Uh, So usually it depends on the nature of the sample space. Or if the output of a random experiment is a continuum of values, then it can be represented using a continuous random variable. Now, let us consider some examples in which we have a set of continuous random variables. The first one, if you observe the lost lifespan of an LED light, if you observe the lifespan of an LED light, the LED light may uh, damage at the first instant of use, or it can live a long life, say practically, or then technically it may last an infinite time. So the lifespan of an LED light may vary from 0 to infinity. So this is a sample space. So the sample space consists infinite number of values. And if you define a random variable x as the lifetime of LED light, or this x is some function from S1 to the set of all real numbers, but actually it is nothing but the identity mark which denote the lifespan of an LED light. And this random variable x is a continuous random variable as it takes values from 0 to infinity. Then if you measure the height of a person, then it can vary from a lower bound, maybe some 100 centimeter to some say 200 centimeter. The height of a person vary in between the lower bound and the upper bound. And in practical sense, when we measure the height, we have a least count, and therefore we measure it as a discrete quantity. But there are infinitely many points, or a large number of points in between 100 and 200. And for simplicity, we take it as a continuum of points in between 100 and 200. Uh, in practical point of view, it is not so easy to find a person with height, say, some rational numbers in between 100 and irrational numbers in between 100 and 200. So we cannot measure a rational quantity in between 0 and 200 for practical purpose, but theoretically that is okay. So for simplicity, in many cases we use continuous random variable. And now, as a case of height of a person, time between two phone calls arrive at a service center. Um, that's again the phone calls arrived at a particular phone call arrived at time 0. The next phone call arrived at time t1. Then the gap between these two uh, phone calls is a random variable, and that random variable can take values from 0 to infinity. So that's again another random variable which takes a continuum of random variables. Then an error occurred in a measurement taken using a measuring instrument. For example, I have a particular rod of a certain length, maybe in centimeters or kilometers or millimeters. I'm not concentrating on the unit of measurement. I have a particular length which is to be measured, and I have a measuring instrument with which I take the measurement or measure the length of this particular uh, segment or particular rod. Now, uh, the measurement may contain an error. So it can be a positive error or a negative error. Now, uh, if the error is completely random, then it can take values from minus infinity to plus infinity. The error can vary from minus infinity to plus infinity. But anyway, the probability to have an error which is very close to minus infinity or plus infinity is very small, and the probability to have an error which is very near to zero is comparatively large. But even in that situation, it is possible to have an error which is very large or very small. So if you measure a 5 centimeter length using say something like, let's consider, if you measure the length of measure the distance between 2 points A and B, and it is approximately some 25 kilometers, using a measuring instrument uh, of length 1 meter, then the total distance is 25 kilometers or 25,000 meters approximately, and I'm using a meter scale to measure the distance between A and B. And it is possible to make some errors, and that can vary from minus infinity to plus infinity. But the probability to have an error of say 10 kilometers or 20 kilometers in such measurement is the probability is very small. But the probability to make a measuring error of 1 meter or zero point 0.5 meter or something like 10 centimeters is much larger than the probability to make an error of 10 meters or 10,000 meters or 20,000 meters. So even then, it is possible to make such a error. So that is the case of error occurred in a measurement. Anyhow, that can vary from minus infinity to plus infinity, and that's a continuous type random variable. Now, for a random variable which is of continuous nature, first we define the distribution function, not the probability density function. We start with defining the distribution function, and the definition is exactly the same as in the case of continuous random variable, discrete random variable. And f of x is defined as probability that capital X takes a value less than or equal to small x. Now, uh, the probability density function in this case, PDF, is defined as small f of x, and it is defined in a way like this. F of x is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of nu d nu. We define a function cap small f of x which satisfies this relationship as the probability density function. And thus the PDF and DF are related by these two equations. The PDF is equal to PDF is the first derivative of density function, and the density function can be obtained as integral minus infinity to x f of nu d nu. And the motivation behind such a definition is that if you have a random variable x which is of continuous type random variable, and if you are looking for the probability that a less than or equal to x less than or equal to b, in the case of discrete random variable, what we are doing is we find out all values of x we takes a value in between a and b and find out the values of f at xi and sum them up. But in the case of continuous random variable, the summation is replaced with integration, and what we are doing is integrating from a to b f of x dx. Now, let us just look at the probability that x is equal to a single point. And this can be written as probability that a less than or equal to x less than or equal to a. So just mathematical trick. And this is equal to, by the definition, integral a to a f of x dx. And this value is equal to 0 for any function and for any value of a. If we integrate any function from a to a, the value is equal to 0. So that what we get is probability that x is equal to a equal to 0. It is for a continuous type random variable, probability that x is equal to a equal to 0 for any point a. So in this case, if you define f of x is equal to probability that x is equal to xi for all values of I, then that function is identically equal to 0. And a function which is identically equal to 0 have no significance in our analysis process. So we are looking for something useful, and we come up with a definition which is just discussed here. So we define the distribution function first, capital F of x first, and obtain the probability density function as a derivative of um, capital F of x. And another thing, the term probability density function is used to represent f of x, and the term probability mass function is not usually used to represent a probability density function of this continuous random variable. It is reserved for the discrete type random variable. And uh, another thing, the calculation of probability from probability density function. For a continuous random variable, the probability can be calculated as integral a to b f of x dx. Probability that a less than or equal to x less than or equal to b can be calculated as integral a to b f of x dx. And this is equal to f of b minus f of a. And for any real number, this thing is already discussed. For any real number, if probability that x is equal to a is identically equal to 0. And that's the motivation behind the definition of probability density function in a different way. Now, we can define the expectation of a random variable. If x is a continuous random variable, the expectation of x is defined as integral minus infinity to plus infinity x into f of x dx. And if phi of x is any function of x, then expectation of phi of x can be defined as integral minus infinity to plus infinity phi of x into f of x dx. For example, if x is a random variable, x is a random variable, and it has a probability density function f of x, then we can calculate expectation of x square as integral minus infinity to plus infinity x square into f of x dx. In a similar way, we can find the expression of x cube by 3 as integral minus infinity to plus infinity x cube by 3 into f of x dx. So we can find out the expression of any function of x. So and there are two functions which are of importance. That is, we can think about the expectation of e raised I uh, uh, x and expectation of e raised x All these can be calculated, and these two expectations are of importance, and they will give they are known as the characteristic function and moment generating function of a random variable, and that has much importance in the analysis of uh, probability distributions. And anyhow, we are not going into that concepts here. Uh, as in the case of discrete random variables, we have the mean and variance defined as the expectation of x and expectation of x minus mu the whole square uh, equal to expectation of x square minus mu square the whole square. Now, we just give the list of random variables, continuous type random variables, which we are going to discuss in details in our coming sessions. First one is uniform distribution, for which the probability density function f of x is equal to, anyway, for a probability density function f of x, we have the properties that f of x is always positive, and if we sum up for all possible values of f of x, the value should be equal to 1. These are the two important properties of a probability density function. And in the case of discrete random variable, we sum up summation sigma for all values of x, f of x is equal to 1. And here, since it is a continuous type random variable, we integrate from minus infinity to plus infinity, and integrate integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of x dx is equal to f of x dx is equal to 1. If a function f of x satisfies these two conditions, then we can uh, conclude that the function is a probability density function. That function can work as a probability density function. So here, if you have a function like 1 by sigma root 2 pi e raised to minus x minus mu e raised to minus of x minus mu the whole square divided by 2 sigma square, x minus mu the whole square divided by 2 sigma square, where this x can take values from minus infinity to infinity, and this mu and sigma are real numbers, and they are the parameters of this particular function. If we have such a function, then we can establish that this function has two properties. One, f of x is always greater than 0, and second one, if we integrate from minus infinity to plus infinity, f of x dx is equal to 1, then we can verify those two properties, and this is a probability density function. This is able to work as a probability density function, and this particular random variable which has this particular probability density function is known as normal distribution. This is known as a normal distribution. And in this expression, if you replace mu with 0 and sigma with 1, we have an expression as 1 by root 2 pi e to the power minus x square divided by 2, and this varies from minus infinity less than x less than infinity, and usually this is known as the standard normal distribution, and that is obtained by just replacing mu with 0 and sigma with 1. This is a particular type of random variable, which is known as standard normal random variable. Usually a standard normal random variable is denoted by the letter z. So we write f of z is equal to 1 by sigma root 2 pi e raised to minus z squared by 2, and which z varies from minus infinity to plus infinity. So there is normal distribution and standard normal distribution and PDF. And for a probability density function, for a random variable x with PDF f of x is equal to lambda e raised to minus lambda x, where this lambda is a positive number and x is x is a random variable which take only positive values. So the value of x varies from 0 to infinity, and f of x is equal to lambda e raised to minus lambda x when x is greater than 0. That is again another probability density function for which we can verify the properties in a easy way. Here, if you consider f of x is equal to lambda e raised to minus lambda x, and since lambda is positive, e raised to minus lambda x is always positive, so f of x is always positive, and integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of x dx is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of x dx is equal to uh, is equal to f of x dx is equal to from 0 to minus infinity to 0, the value is 0. From 0 to infinity, it is lambda e raised to minus lambda x dx, which is equal to, so lambda is a constant in e raised to minus lambda x divided by minus lambda in between 0 and infinity. This lambda and lambda get cancelled, and what remains is minus e raised to minus lambda x in between 0 and infinity, and the upper bounds, at the upper bounds the value of this particular integral is e raised to minus infinity. E raised to minus infinity is minus e raised to minus infinity, minus of minus become plus e raised to minus 0, that is 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. So this function satisfies those two conditions, and therefore the expression lambda e raised to minus lambda x will work as a probability density function, and that is known as an exponential distribution, lambda e raised to minus lambda x. So that is the exponential distribution. And while describing a probability density function, we always give the expression for f of x, and we give the range in within which the value of x varies. So here the function is lambda raised to minus lambda x, and x is varying from 0 to infinity, or x is greater than 0, and the properties of parameters are also specified. Lambda is a positive real number. And in the normal distribution, the parameters are uh, sigma and mu, and thus we always specify that they are real numbers, and we specify the limit within which our random variable x varies from minus infinity to plus infinity in this particular case. Now, another one is the uniform distribution. Uniform distribution, as the name indicates, uniform distribution distributes the value, the probability of 1 uniformly among the possible values of x. In other words, the probability density function f of x is equal to 1 by b minus a, where x varies from a to b, is known as a uniform distribution with parameters a and b. Or in other words, if we draw a diagram, if it is a, if b, then f of x is a function with height b minus 1 by b minus a. So this height is 1 by b minus a. So if we calculate the area under the curve f of x from a to b, or in other words, if we integrate from a to b, f of x dx. As outside the interval a and b, the value of the function is 0, and therefore integral a to b f of x dx is nothing but integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of x dx, and that is equal to integral a to b 1 by b minus a dx. And if we integrate it, integral of dx is x divided by b minus a in between a and b, that's equal to b minus a divided by b minus a, which is equal to 1. Or in other words, it's the area under the curve 1 by b minus a between a and b. And the distance between a and b is nothing but b minus a. So the length into that is equal to 1 by b minus a into b minus a, which is equal to 1. So there's one property of probability density function, and the other one, since obviously the value of b is greater than a, b minus a is positive, and therefore 1 by b minus a is also positive. So f of x is also positive. So simply it satisfies all those two conditions required for a probability density function, and therefore here it has those two requirements of a probability density function, and this is the most simplest probability density function which we have. And now, if we have a probability density function which is a uniform distribution, or if x is a uniform random variable with the parameter a and b, then f of x is equal to 1 by b minus a when a less than or equal to x less than or equal to b and equal to 0 otherwise. And let us just calculate something more about this probability density function. So let us calculate the expectation of x. Expectation of x, by definition, is minus infinity to plus infinity x into f of x dx. And in our case, this is equal to integral from minus infinity to a, the value of f of x is 0. From a to b, the value of f of x is equal to b minus a. And from b to infinity, the value is again equal to 0. So we have non-zero values only inside the interval a to b. Then 1 by b minus a is a constant as far as the integration is concerned. Integration with respect to x is concerned. And integral of x is x squared by 2 in between a and b. So this is equal to b square minus a square divided by b minus a. Then there is a 2 also. This is equal to b minus a into b plus a divided by 2 times b minus a. This b minus a gets cancelled, and what remains is b plus a divided by 2 or a plus b divided by 2. So that is our expectation of x. So if we have a random variable which takes values from a to b, and probability of each and every point is the same from a to b, probability to have each and every point are the same, then the expected value of x is the middle value, that is a plus b divided by 2. So that's the meaning of expectation of x. Now, in a similar way, we can calculate the expectation of x square. Expectation of x square is equal to integral a to b outside the interval a to b. As in the previous case, the value of integral becomes 0. So we need only to integrate from a to b x square into f of x dx. That's equal to 1 by b minus a into s cube by 3 in between a and b. That's equal to b cube minus a cube divided by b minus a into 3. So that's the value of expectation of x square. And now, using this expression of x square, we can calculate the variance. The variance of a random variable sigma square is defined as expectation of x square minus expectation of x the whole square, which is equal to, in our case, expectation of x square is equal to b cube minus a cube divided by 3 times b minus a minus expectation of x a plus b divided by 2 the whole square. Now this is equal to, we have to take the LCM, and for that this is equal to here it is a plus b the whole square divided by 4. 4 into 3, that is 12. Then b minus a, that is equal to b cube minus a cube four times minus 3 times b minus a into a plus b the whole square. Now we have to simplify this expression using some mathematical tricks. It's equal to 4b cube minus 4a cube minus here 3 times b minus a into a plus b the whole square. This is a square plus b square plus 2ab divided by 12 times b minus a, that's equal to 4 times b cube minus 4 times a cube, then minus 3 times here we have to expand it. Here it is minus of a into a square, that is minus a cube. Here b plus b cube. Then b into a square, that is plus ab a square b. Then we have a minus ab square. Then we have plus 2 times ab square minus 2 times a square b. That's equal to whole divided by 12 times b minus a. This is the last extended way to simplify things. Okay, this is equal to here 4b cube minus 4a cube minus of minus plus 3 a cube, then minus of plus, that is minus 3 b cube. Then here we have an a square b. Here again we have an a square b. So we get a minus a square b, and minus of minus become plus 3 a square b, and what remains is 2 ab square. Here minus ab square. So what remains is plus 2ab square. So ab square into minus 3. So minus 3ab square. Now divided by 12 into b minus a. And this is equal to here 4b square and 3b square get cancelled, and what remains is b cube minus 4a cube plus 3a cube, so minus a cube, then minus 3a square b minus 3a b square divided by 12 b minus a. So this is the expression for our variance, and we can simplify it further. So this is equal to take a minus sign outside. This can be written as a cube minus 3 plus 3 a square b minus 3 or plus 3 a b square minus b cube. Okay, so it is a square b is positive here, so a square b is positive, which means if you take a minus sign outside, the square b term is negative. So negative. Divided by 12 times b minus a. That's equal to the numerator is minus of a minus b the all cube divided by, if you take a minus side also from here, a minus b, so it is minus 12 times a minus b. Then this a minus b and one a minus b here will get cancelled, and minus sign get cancelled, and what remains is a minus b the whole square divided by 12. So that's the variance of our uniform distribution. So mean is a plus b divided by 2, and variance is a minus b the whole square divided by 12. No, so that's the basic parameters of a uniform distribution. Now, if you are looking for the distribution function, capital F of x, that can be obtained by integrating from minus infinity to x, f of x dx. And this is equal to, anyway, here we have to split the real line into 3 if it is a, b, then if the value of x is less than a, then f of x takes a value. If x is less than a, then f of x is equal to small f of x is equal to 0, and therefore the integral from minus infinity to x f of x dx takes a value 0. And for a value in between a and b, for a value in between a and b, this integral is integral a to x f of x, that is 1 by b minus a dx. That's equal to 1 by b minus a into x varies from 0 a to x, so x in between a and x, which is equal to, here we are not adding any demi variable. Actually what we have to do is we integrate with respect to some other demi variables. Anyway, let's equal to x minus a divided by b minus a. So that is the value of capital F of x. For a value of x in between a and b, it is x minus a divided by b minus a. And if the value of x is greater than b, then the integral from minus infinity to plus infinity cover the region from a to b, and the entire real line from a to b. And when we integrate f of x from a to b, the value is equal to 1. So whenever we integrate f of x from a point which is less than a to a point which is greater than b, the value is equal to 1. So this is the distribution function of our uniform random variable. So that is another measure related to the uniform distribution. And if you have a uniform distribution function, say let us consider f of x is equal to, if we consider the uniform distribution in the interval 0, 1 by 2, then f of x is equal to, if x is a random variable which has a uniform distribution in the interval 0, 1 by 2, then f of x is equal to 1 by 2 minus 0, where x belongs to 0, 1 by 2 and equal to 0 elsewhere. And this is nothing but 1 by 1 by 2 is 2 when x belongs to 0, 1 by 2 and is equal to 0 else. So observe one thing here, the value of f of x is greater than 0, but it need not be a value which is less than 1. That is not necessary. For a discrete random variable, f of x is defined as a probability, and therefore this probability is a value in between 0 and 1. But in the case of a continuous random variable, f of x is not defined as a probability, and therefore the function f of x has not such properties. The only thing which is to be noted is that f of x is always positive. And if this is our random variable, then we can calculate the probabilities, like if you are looking for the probability that uh, the random variable x takes a value in between 0 and 0.25, and that can be calculated as integral from 0 to 0.25 f of x is 2 dx. That's equal to 2 into x in between 0 and 0.25 is equal to 2 into 0.25 minus 0, that is equal to 2 into 1 by 4, which is 1 by 2. So remember one thing, the ultimately what you obtain is a probability, and the probability is always a value in between 0 and 1. So remember to check whether if you are going to calculate a probability, that probability should have a value in between 0 and 1. But the probability density function f of x, that expression may take values which is greater than 1, but it always takes a value which is positive. Anyway, this is how we calculate probabilities for a continuous type random variable, and in this particular case we deal with uniform distributions. And the discussion of uniform distribution is very simple, and we are not going to discuss any more problems under this category. If the probabilities are equally distributed among the possible outcomes, then it is known as a uniform distribution. And this kind of uniform distribution can be defined for a continuous random variable also. So we can have uniform distribution of discrete type. That's also possible. And if you have a random variable x, which can take values x1, x2, etc., xn, and the probability of 1 is equally distributed among these n points as probability that x is equal to x1 is 1 by n, x2 is 1 by n, etc. xn is 1 by n. Simple example, in our experiment of tossing a fair coin, the probability, the random variable that can take two values, and the probability is equally distributed among the two random variables. Or in the case of throwing a fair die, uh, we define we can define the probability density function as f of x is equal to 1 by 6, where x can take values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is again a probability density function, and this can be termed as a uniform distribution of discrete type. So whenever we distribute the probability equally among all possible values, we can use uniform distributions. And this is usually we use uniform distribution only when we don't have any further information about our random variable or random experiment. Anyway, for the time being, that this is enough, and we stop here. And related to this particular session, we will follow up with sessions on uh, exponential distribution and a session on normal distribution, that is most important content under this continuous type random variable, normal distribution. And we will deal with some problems which can be addressed using properties of probability density function. That is something like if f of x is a probability density function, then it is always positive, and if we integrate from minus infinity to plus infinity, this is going to be equal to 1. We can use these properties to solve some kind of problems under probability density functions. So these are the follow-up sessions expected, um, and for the time being, that's enough. And thank you.